Hello and welcome. Welcome to 2023 for starters, but also to Coffee and Conversation. As it says on the screen there, the session's been recorded and the recording will be available online. Please mute yourself until you want to speak. Feel free to rename yourself so your name and organisation is visible. And we will use the chat function. So if you want to pop a question or an answer or a comment in the chat, we'll keep an eye on that. And we'll try to keep it to one person speaking at a time, which does not have to be me, or we're happy that it is about conversation. So we'd like to have a chat about what's going on in the outdoors world. So as we get started, Outdoors Queensland respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the various lands where we gather across Queensland. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge the important roles that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples play in relation to the land, the sky and the waterways that are used for outdoor activities. I'm in Brisbane or Meanjin on Yagara country, which is a place of the Jagera and Turrbal peoples. If you'd like to, you can pop in the chat the place and the country you're joining from today. Yeah, just really nice to start off with that, with the acknowledgement. We also acknowledge the funding that's provided by the Queensland Government, which supports outdoor activities across the state and includes funding to allow Outdoors Queensland to do our work. And we'd also acknowledge the other work that various government departments and ministers do in relation to outdoor activities, which particularly sport and recreation, who are in the Department of Tourism, Innovation and Sport, but also various other ministers and departments right across the Queensland Government, and we do appreciate their support. So welcome to the first episode of Coffee and Conversation for 2023. My name's Dom Courtney. I'm the Executive Officer of Outdoors Queensland. My co-host today is Mark Squires, our Operations Manager. Another big thank you for all that you do, Mark. Welcome all members of Outdoors Queensland, plus others who are joining us. Really lovely to see you all again, so welcome. As I said before, the recordings of these sessions are available on our website and on YouTube. And please feel free to ask questions and make comments as we go along. Just checking the chat. All good, thank you. Thanks for the chat there. Quick agenda. It's mainly about opportunities, but we also need to talk about COVID-19 protocols. If you've got anything to add to the agenda, please speak up during the meeting. If you want to suggest any topics for discussion in future sessions or other topics for workshops, please contact me or Mark. We're always happy to have a chat about that. So let us know. I just wanted to start off acknowledging that many areas of Queensland are affected by severe weather and flooding. This is a screenshot from Wednesday. I didn't update it this morning, but I don't suppose it's probably got any smaller. This is the warnings just for Queensland at the moment from the Bureau of Meteorology. Obviously, weather conditions, weather warnings, considerations are so important to outdoor activities. But I just wanted to flag that we know there's a lot going on right now. There's even talk about a cyclone forming as well. I think that I saw that the Bureau aren't suggesting it's going to impact on the coast, but you know, you never know. So see what happens. There's also going to be undoubtedly a significant reconstruction effort that's going to be required for infrastructure post-disaster. We'll provide information on government support and other support when available. And I wanted to flag that for non-profit organisations affected by severe weather events in southeast Queensland last year, February to April 2022, it seems a bit strange already to be saying 2022 as last year, sorry. I caught myself there for a moment. Applications are still open for Sport and Rec's recovery grant for that severe weather event, but it closes 31st of January. So if you're one of those organisations. We spoke about it a fair bit last year, but those applications are still open. So just check out the Sport and Rec website for more info on that. But they do want to make sure people get their applications in on time if you're an eligible organisation. I shared this slide in January last year, which I think it was fairly accurate. So I decided that 2021 was 2020 winning. 2022 seemed to be a duplicate of 2020, unfortunately. But my optimistic note was maybe 2023 could be 2023. So I'm hoping I'm going to put it out there again and hoping that it is somewhat accurate and that we're moving ahead without as many COVID interruptions to our worlds. So that's my Nostradamus, my projection for the future for this year. So I'll put that out there. I hope I don't mean to make light of the dramas that have happened over the last few years, but that's my take on that, based on nothing other than a few puns. There's the scientific basis. I do want to quickly go through a little bit of COVID stuff, and that it's actually pretty good news. Just this week, the Queensland Health has the traffic light system is changed to green on I think it was Tuesday this week, so it was announced on Wednesday. So it's just the standard preventative measures. It's pretty small print on the screen there, but the good news is the government website says that green means there's low rates of community transmission and Queensland is not in a COVID-19 wave. So you're probably all aware that the actual public health emergency associated with COVID-19 was officially ended, I guess, in Queensland on the 31st of October last year. So that's good news. And then it's just these recommendations that we have, which are there on the screen about the main things is stay home if you're sick and keep up to date with vaccinations. And then the protocols, recommendations if you do get COVID. So so it's great that it's been downgraded or moved to green, go from there. As far as the Education Queensland COVID rules, it's all set out on the Education Queensland website. There's a link there on the screen to that. They actually updated their webpage this week as well. There hasn't been any major change around school camps or excursions compared to what was on the page last year. It still says that schools, or it says risk assessments have to be done before they start activities and take into account infection control measures if anyone develops symptoms of COVID or other respiratory illness, and talks about giving consideration to excursions or camp that involve extensive or complex travel arrangements. It doesn't say that those activities can't take place. It just says you need to be given careful consideration. So it's actually quite positive on that space in there. And so I think that's a good sign as far as where we're at the moment with COVID. That one is the standard protocols. That's still on the government website about the vaccinations, wearing masks, testing, stay home when sick, physical distancing and hand hygiene. It seems like something we can probably all rattle off, but it is good to have a reminder. So that's about it from me as far as COVID. If anyone has any questions, please fire away, comments, queries on that. Otherwise, we can move right along and not be talking too much about, hopefully, about what's going on in COVID. I hope I'm not going to regret those words. So I don't think the pandemic's not over. We know that there's still a lot going on in the world, but it looks like at the moment, at least, we're not in a wave, which is great. So cool. I will just pause a moment because I know I tend to keep talking. I saw a few heads shaking and smiles, so it looks like all good. Cool. if you do want to speak up, you can either just speak up or pop your hand up in the reactions section in the meeting. We talked about this a little bit in December, but I just want to flag it again that 2023 is it's been declared by the Queensland government as the year of accessible tourism for Queensland. And so that's all about changing perceptions of what it means to be an accessible tourism business. The government is looking to provide support to tourism businesses so they can develop a wider range of accessible tourism itineraries and promote accessible tourism destination and experiences, which seems to me like really wonderful opportunities for tourism businesses, and hoping, you know, that outdoor tourism, venture tourism operators get involved in that space, and it could make a big difference for the future. So there's a range of grant funding available or will become available in that process. And it's mostly, I think, about, well, it says on the website, it's mostly about supporting small to medium-sized tourism and events businesses in that space. So hopefully there's some really good outcomes from this, and it's great to see, you know, that work's being done in that space that will hopefully continue for a long time to come. Danny, you just got a comment about campers who are close contacts or develop COVID and unsure what to do. Yeah, did you want to talk to that one?
No, sort of self-explanatory, I guess. You know, we also have, you know, staff who are unsure what those people are supposed to do when they're here. And but anyway, what's the general consensus on whether others are finding the same issue or whether they just find that it's all gone away, so as long as they got a mask on at their own discretion, they're all fine.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things where it's no longer mandatory. So a lot of it comes down to the protocols that the venues or the school has in place as well, and understanding what those are. So I think a lot of that is what is an appropriate protocol to have in place, and it's about protecting your clients, but also your staff as well, and everyone at the venue. So I guess that's sort of the take on it. But yeah, happy if anyone else has a.
Yeah, I'd be interested in what others, what is their take on it then, and what do they tell their clients to do? Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to chime in on that one? No.
Oh, well, if we hear anything what others are doing, I'll be interested.
Absolutely. Yeah. If anyone does want to chime in on that one, yeah, you can always contact us, and I can pass it on to Danny too. Thanks, mate. I just wanted to flag the Great Getaways Queensland. The program we've run for the last year or so. We've got weekend getaways coming up at the Queensland Rec Centre at Curramundi, and that's in February. And then there's one up at Seaforth Seaforth Pines near Mackay in March. So we also have some day activities coming up. So if you know anyone who might enjoy these activities, please let them know about it. We really need to get numbers of attendees to make a go of the program. If you're interested in partnering with us in relation to hosting activity days or weekend camps, or want to get involved, please let us know. We've got the Great Getaways website, and I've got that on the page there. We've also been running the Outdoors for Life, which I've put the link there for that one as well, which Fiona has been working on, and there's information on the website about Outdoors for Life as well. But the Great Getaways one's the one with the activities coming up. So if you're interested, please let us know on that one. We've got an opportunity for collaboration as well, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Vanathi Sharma Brahma from University of Sunshine Coast to discuss collaboration opportunities with Outdoors Queensland members in relation to green social work and student field placement. So I'll just stop sharing my screen and I'll hand over to you, Vanathi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Dom.
So you should be right now to share your screen.
Okay, I'll share the screen first, and then Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Vinate Sharma Brahma. I'm a lecturer in social work at University of the Sunshine Coast. I'm a member of the Outdoors Queensland as well, and a qualified trained forest school practitioner. My passion within my discipline research area is green social work, and especially looking at placing humans in nature and also giving back to nature as well. So what do we learn from nature, and how can we look upon nature as an entity for boosting up our well-being, health, and also how do we best associate with nature? All this comes under green social work. I'm going to talk a little bit about this intention of inviting a collaboration between the organizations that are members of the Outdoors Queensland, as well as the students of social work and human services from our disciplinary area in the university. So these are the opportunities and collaborations that I would like to explore today, and I really invite your suggestions and perspectives on how to best collaborate to create those opportunities. So first of all, I would like to pay my respects to the elders through this acknowledgement of country. I acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we all live, work, and study. I pay my respects to the local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, their elders, past, present, and emerging, and I do recognize the strengths, resilience, and capacity of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Okay, as I was mentioning before, I work in social work discipline at our university, and I'm also a program coordinator of human services programs. So this year, my aim is to explore opportunities for our social work and human services program students who are studying at second, third, and fourth year levels, because they go on field placements when they start this third year of study. Some may prefer to do at the end of their second year study as well. So the rationale for green social work is based on our Australian Association of Social Workers, the principle for practice, which is also professional education, social work professional education as well as practice. The fundamental principle is social justice. So the association mandates that all social workers and human service professionals must uphold social justice, and within that, we all must promote the protection of the natural environment as inherent to social well-being. So this is where we come into the picture. How best can we, or are we capable of looking upon nature as an entity and a respectful inspirational resource for our own well-being, and how best we can give back to nature for protection and conservation, and also looking at the sustainability aspects of green social work. So green social work implies a holistic focus on that kind of relationship, which is between nature and human, but placing humans in nature for own well-being as well as protecting the natural world. So I'm not being selfish in saying that it is our own well-being that we are interested in. However, I'm also recognizing the aspect that it is holistic in nature, that we give back to the protection and conservation, keeping sustainability as our focus. So the rationale of green social work embraces sustainability and environmental justice. The concept itself explores human relationship with nature as we become more concerned with issues that are arising from disconnection with nature. These issues, as we all know, range from loss of natural landscapes, habitats, climate change, and as we experience the loss and grief from natural disasters, which we are seeing increasing numbers, and disrespect for life forms other than human beings. So all in all, these result in species extinction, disconnection with nature, moving away from nature and focusing more on our own development and our own existence and our own well-being. So that kind of disconnection from nature affects us deeply because we belong to nature. We are part of nature. So we cannot really, take ourselves out of nature because we are all, we are one with the life forms of the natural world. So green social work, in essence, is emerging as a practice area all across Australia. The most active green social work network group within the Australian Association of Social Workers is in South Australia from Adelaide, and they're already connecting and collaborating with universities for student placement of their social work and human services. So the association is increasingly recognizing green social work as a prominent practice area. And I would like to bring this into Queensland as well. Queensland branch. For that, I am asking for your help and support because basically, we need to collaborate with each other when students want to work with the outdoors organizations. We want encouragement, reinforcement for them to practice the deeper connections with the natural world. So opportunities range from community gardening to forest school, to environmental education, outdoor adventure, various types of outdoor oriented therapies, like, you name it, it's all there in Australia, starting from forest bathing to bush therapy, adventure therapy, forest school, wilderness therapy, and so many other opportunities are there, collaborations are there. Basically, they all involve one or the other type of nature related activity at the community level. So with that kind of rationale for green social work to emerge in Queensland as a recognized practice area, we would love our students to go out and get trained with the outdoors organizations. When I say get trained, they are still social work and human services students. They are still bound by the mandates of the Australian Association of Social Workers and Human Services. So they bring in these principles, code of ethics, and also the professional standards with them, which are all to do with human rights, social justice, and addressing inequities, and also justice to the well-being of all people, vulnerable, disadvantaged, marginalized, and all these people. So they particularly focus their attention to working with such clientele or service users. So my opportunity that I see here in green social work is to really highlight those opportunities to work with vulnerable communities and in nature, through nature interventions, through nature-based activities. This not only helps in improving the overall health and well-being through various interventions, but also it sustains nature-human relationship in a very big way and deep way. So this opportunity is currently less available to social work and human services students, and I would like to focus on that, and with your support, make that as a big emerging area of practice. So these are the opportunities and collaborations that I am imagining because I am part of the member of the network in Adelaide, South Australia Practice Group. There is one that is emerging in Victoria as well, and I'm not aware of New South Wales. So next is, Queensland, why can't we do it? So students of social work and human services, they have to, complete 2 placements, field placements. For human services students, it's less, 250 hours by 2, multiplied by 2 placements, whereas social work students have to complete 500 hours, multiplied by 2 field placements. 250 for human services, 500 hours for social work students, and they have to actually implement and demonstrate and practice their professional practice skills, ethics, and maintaining professional standards. They have to collaborate with the agency that they are working with and also learn the skills of the agency through the agency. So here I am seeking newer opportunities through such collaborations with the members of the Outdoors Queensland organizations to promote green social work and also, cultivate that interest, promote that interest, and sustain that interest in human-nature relationship, conservation, eco-friendly projects, outdoor adventure interventions, activity-based programs, projects, all in all, shining that nature, natural organic philosophies of life and community-based sustainable ventures. So if through your support and help, if we come up and identify those opportunities to connect with nature, sustainability, and planetary conscious approaches to life, that would actually give our students a very good opportunity. Last year, 2 students were interested, and we just didn't have the appropriate connections for them to collaborate with. And also it has to go through the university, through the field education office people, and whole team will be involved. So it's a two-way giving back. That is the essence of green social work practice. So please, if you are able to give me your suggestions, share your perspectives, and also express your interest in any possible manner of supporting us in this venture, I will appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanathi. Jen and Narelle both already commented in the chat there while you were speaking, saying that they would love to be involved. So yeah, and popped some details in there as well in the chat. So do you want to have a quick chat now, or do you want to connect later on, or how do you want to do it on that?
I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has, and also I'll put my email again in the chat space, and it's open to everybody, and also to you, Mark and Dom, if you have time. How do you want to go?
Yeah, thanks. I guess the big thing, it looks like it's quite open as far as the range of activities that the students can do from what you said. Like it can range from adventure therapy through to environmental education and other activities, which is great to see. So I think that's probably one thing for us to think about, for operators to think about how they might be able to take a student to do some work experience with them, and what their outcomes might be for that side of things. Okay. Yeah. Terrific. Well, yeah, we're more than happy. Thanks for popping your details in the chat there to your email. And if anyone wants to get in touch, yeah, that's great. And we'll also put some more information out in our next news that'll go out at the start of February as well. And when will it all start up? It just depends once it's sorted out with the paperwork, and then just during the year for the students.
We are at the very, very beginning of the semester now. So Field Ed their team has started already their preliminary work in identifying the organizations. It takes a long time, even if it is not really possible, practically feasible for this first semester. If anybody is willing to take on students for the second semester, that's the time a lot of the students would like to go out. Yeah.
Terrific. Okay. No, thank you very much. And thanks for joining us today. It's great to see. I mean, obviously, we don't always think about social work in terms of outdoor activities, but it's great to see that crossover and that development that's going on. And I agree, it'd be great to see Queensland moving ahead with that too. So thanks very much for joining us for your presentation.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, no worries at all. Thanks. I'll just see if I can't share my screen now. This is where technology is our friend. And I think I've managed it. All right. Terrific. Thanks very much. A few opportunities just to bring to your attention. The Gambling Community Benefit Fund is a chance for the community to well, as it's called, benefit from some of the gambling that happens from the state government. This is Queensland's largest community grants program. According to their website, they distribute about $60 million each year to non-profit community groups. So there's 4 rounds available this year, and the one that's open right now and closes end of February, that's their $100,000 super round. Then there's 3 other rounds that close in May, August, and October. Please, if you remember, more than happy for us to act as a referee for an application. Something we're happy to do for members, and just let us know if you'd like us to do that. So I don't think you have to provide the referee. You just can include our details, but just let me know so I don't get a call out of the blue just in case. So just wanted to flag that it is open right now for the 100,000 super round. But there are other rounds later in the year which will be up to $35,000. So that's an important one to be aware of. Another opportunity, which is for funding, for training, is the Savanah Guides. They're also an Outdoors Queensland member, and they offer workshops that they call field schools, and they're about helping people to maintain high levels of professionalism. And they've got 2 field schools coming up this year. One in March, I think it's 14th to the 18th of March. It's actually on the Savanah lander train departing from Cairns, and they're going to run it, I think it's for 4 or 5 days as a train trip, as well as they're running the field school on board. So that's an interesting concept. And then the other ones that later on, it's in October this year at Carnarvon Gorge. So both of them sound really interesting. We actually spoke at their field school at Forsyth and Cobble Gorge in North Queensland in 2017. It was a really amazing opportunity, and I think if anyone does get the opportunity to go to one of those, I think it's would be really worthwhile. They are open for non-members of Savanah Guides to attend, and sometimes I think they have people attend a field school just to get a feel for what their organisation's all about. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check it out. Yeah, they do some good things. They talk about the Australian Savanah from Cairns right across to Broome, and obviously there's a lot of flooding going on in the north of Australia at the moment, and they've got some great stuff going on as well. So check that out. Another one, speaking of as an opportunity, there's public consultation at the moment going on for the Brisbane 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games Legacy Survey. So that's open until 3rd of March. And then that's the bit about gathering hopes and dreams there on the first part of that slide. Then there's a forum in March that'll take some of the feedback from their survey to inform that forum. And I've actually done the survey, and I'd really encourage others who are interested to also complete it. It's such a significant event, and it's important, I guess, as a significant investment by the government, that there are benefits for the community out of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. So it's worth having a look at that survey if you haven't had a chance to do it yet. And you do have another month or so to get it done if you'd like to. It's not too onerous. Yeah, so it's worth a look to talk about that. Part of the program on that they're talking about it as sustainable games, but also as far as benefits for community health. So it sort of ties up with the green social work point of thing and the health and wellbeing benefits from being active and healthy. So yeah, it's worth having a look at that survey and providing your feedback. Also on the opportunities as well, the Sport and Recreation's FairPlay vouchers, this round 8 opens, as it says on the screen there, on next week on the 25th of January. It's about vouchers to support children to get active. They can be used for membership of sport and rec clubs. They can be used for registration and participation fees. You do need to be a registered activity provider in the scheme to be able to accept those vouchers. So there's information on their website about becoming a provider, or also obtaining a voucher for parents, carers and guardians. So it's worth checking out their website for that one as well, if you get a chance. All right, just looking at the chat. Not sure, Danny, on your one there. I think that might have been met elsewhere, was it?
Just cracked back one. So I was just letting you know to do with you were talking about legacy contribution, but yeah, the Sunshine Coast Legacy Community Reference Group and the Mayor will be at a media release next Tuesday. That was my second message. Just gave
Oh,
you
sorry, Danny, I missed the earlier one. Yeah, right.
that's
So
all
next
good.
Tuesday, the Mayor's. Oh, terrific. Okay. So the Sunshine Coast has its own plan as well as part of the vision for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. That's
Yeah,
terrific.
most regions have a legacy reference group. I sit on that. They usually have a business or community group reference group as well. Benoni sits on that, and then it's was led by the federal member, and it was handed on to a volunteer chair, which is Dr. Bridie Keane up here. So yeah, Gold Coast probably has a similar thing going on, and Brisbane and maybe Toowoomba, and yeah.
Yeah, I think Cairns and Toowoomba do too. I think so
I just thought someone might be interested that's nearby that know it's on and want to attend. Yeah.
Pop in and see what's going on. Yeah, great. Thank you, mate. Sorry, I missed the first one. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be on local 7 News and stuff too, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good to see. Yeah. So on to that one. I also wanted to flag there's a free webinar that the Institute of Community Directors Australia it's this free webinar next week, so the 23rd of February, regarding women's leadership on boards. It's not just about women joining boards, it's actually about taking on leadership positions like becoming chair of the board. And it says in the description of the webinar about how do you know if that's right for you and what help's available. So that's what they're going to go through in their webinar. So I just wanted to put that out there that, sorry, it's February 23rd, not Monday, January. So yeah, 23rd of February. So in a month or so's time. So just wanted to flag that one as well, because it's a good opportunity from Institute of Community Directors Australia. Always good to be promoting opportunities to develop skills, etc. A few other reminders. I don't know what's going on with Inside the Outhouse, and I don't think we've got David or Pete here or any of the other orators from the Outhouse. I don't think they haven't restarted yet for this year. So once they do, the Inside the Outhouse, for those who don't know, is a community group via Zoom meetings and also resources on their website. That's just all about connections, mostly for outdoor and environmental educators. So they've been doing some great things. So always happy to promote what's going on inside the Outhouse, the appropriately named group. So yeah. Also, I just wanted to flag our websites, our e-news, and also our social media channels. There's plenty of information there. Really keen to have people engage with us through those ways, as well as on the phone or by emails. You can always contact us if you've got anything that you'd like to discuss. And the great Getaways Queensland, as I discussed earlier, the opportunities that are coming up for that one. If you do know anyone who might be interested in getting outdoors with a like-minded group of people, please let them know that there are those opportunities at the camp the weekend at Curramundi, and also one up at Seaforth Pines in Mackay coming up, and also the activity days that I mentioned earlier. All right. We're just about done, but I did want to just have a quick discussion about the future of these coffee and conversation sessions that we have. We started these in response to COVID, and our attendee numbers have dropped off. We've got quality attendees, obviously, but we haven't got the quantity that we used to have. I think that's probably a reflection of the fact that people have got back to regular business. But the other one that we've got that we've just sort of had a look at is we haven't had many people looking at the recordings that we make available on the website and on YouTube. So just wanted to flag that. These sessions have sort of become a bit of a monthly update from us, which sort of duplicates what we do in our e-news every month as well. So I guess my question is, is this still a valuable use of your time and our time? And also whether we'd be better off going to single topic forums or something like that. I just wanted to put it out there. If anyone has any questions, comments.
And if I could add, Dom, too,
Yeah,
I'm wondering whether people could kind of help drum up business, as it were. I presume you're all here because you get something positive out of this, and so others might do as well. So if you know others who could perhaps benefit, give them a kick up the backside and tell them to get online on a Friday morning. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, Jen's just popped in there. The first one been able to attend. Didn't realise the recorders. Yeah, and it is time. It's hard to find time to join them. We certainly know that as well. And thanks, Narelle. Yeah. And
thanks, Linda, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like we haven't made a decision about it, but we're just looking at it. I guess they just wanted to put it out there and say, if we don't get decent numbers, maybe we'll put our efforts into doing single topic forums instead, which might be more valuable. We can do them as well as that. It's just a matter of how we apply our resources, I suppose, is the main thing. We've got a website. There's a web page you can share, a link to that. But I guess the main thing is probably, to a point, it's word of mouth and recommendation. So people have that referral. Timing, yep, completely agree. Jen, there on daytime can be difficult, and we know that. We actually looked at changing it to evening. We did a survey last year, I think, or the year before, and we got more people saying they'd rather do it at this time that we had, and we were like, oh, here we go. So yeah, we've been looking at a few different options. So and like I say, we haven't made any decisions, but we do want to just put it out there that we are looking at it. It's great to have a dozen people join us, but obviously, we did have much more numbers when all this started as well, because it was about connecting and discussing how to operate in amongst all the uncertainty of COVID, I suppose, was probably part of this, why these sessions actually started originally. So and as I said, I'm hoping we're somewhat on the other side of that. It's maybe wishful thinking to a point, and maybe the operating environment we're in has changed forever. But yeah, it's just about what we get to. Once a month, I think it has been better. We were originally weekly, so we dropped them from weekly to fortnightly, and then went monthly. So we'll just look at it, and maybe we could even go less frequently if that's what we need to do. But we could also ramp them up if things go pear-shaped. Let's hope, touch wood, we don't need to do that. But yeah, does anyone else have any comments on that one? Oh, you like the monthly option, Gavin? Yep. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, like I say, we haven't made any decision. It's just also looking at what else we might be able to do as far as, and whether our single topic ones are a better option. But yeah, let's just see how we go. But in the meantime, I think we'll look to schedule one. This was our other question, Mark, whether we did one. We were going the first Friday of every month, but the first Friday of February is 2 weeks away, which you and I talked about, whether we skip February and just go to the first Friday in March. Thoughts? That'll be 6 weeks away.
If we're going to carry on with these things, then my vote will probably be to run it in 2 weeks' time. Although it might be not a lot of new material, but at least it gets us into the swing of things, and it meets people's expectations of the date and time.
Yeah. Well, maybe we run it in a couple of weeks. Run first Friday in February, and then see how we go there, and go from there. Yep. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Danny just popped in, doesn't mind either way. Yeah, that's a good option. So we'll go with the first Friday in in February. So I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. But yeah, we'll go for that. A big thanks again to Mark for hosting. Thanks to Vanathi for joining us to talk about the green social work opportunities. Please be in touch, and we will put some more information out with the recording of today's session and the notes. A big thank you to all of the Outdoors Queensland members, volunteers and staff who do so much work that help us do what we do. And I just want to sign off just to say, please be kind to the planet, be kind to others, and very importantly, be kind to yourselves. Thanks very much for joining us again today.